Representative Matt Erpelding is on the line. Good morning, Matt.
House Minority Leader.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late calling in. Some stuff came up here at the Capitol. I really appreciate you both waiting for me.
Well, your business is more important than ours at the moment. After the governor's State of the State message, the Democrats issued basically their own, message. You were a part of that. What basically would the Democrats like to see happen during this session?
That's a great question. A lot of what the governor put out addresses this strategic vision to improve our workforce and have some 60% of Idahoans over the age of 25 reaching a level of post-high school education beyond high school. So whether that be vocational skills or associate's degree from the College of Western Idaho or a bachelor's degree for Boise State, whatever it is, the goal is to get our entire population statewide up to 60%. So most of what the governor put forth in terms of investing in education, we were incredibly supportive of. We were disappointed that there was no discussion on transportation funding, particularly as Pothole Row out there in Nampa and Caldwell has really developed because of this weather. I mean, it really shows how weak our transportation infrastructure is and how one major weather event can cause us real problems. And so we were disappointed that there was nothing on transportation and transportation infrastructure. And the other place where, we have doubts is we essentially have doubts that the governor is able to influence the majority party enough to accomplish his vision.
When it comes to the transportation funding, a couple of years ago, some fees were increased, a little bit of tax, and we talked to Republican legislators yesterday and asked them, would that be happening anytime soon again? And they said probably not. If you had a wish, would that be it?
No, I wouldn't say that if I had a wish, that's it. I will say it costs money to fix things. And so folks in Nampa, Caldwell, your area, those legislators need to figure out what their solution is for funding fixes to I-84 and fixes to our eastbound, westbound traffic. And then after we've funded the stuff that's already broken, let's have a conversation about how to put in Highway 16 and really start to grow our infrastructure out there. And if they're not willing to raise gas taxes, certainly I'm not in power. I'm not the one that makes those decisions. Then I say, let those districts, figure it out.
You mentioned 78,000 Idahoans without medical insurance, 10,000 of which are veterans. What would you like to see happen there? Obviously, you'd like to see them gain some coverage.
Oh, absolutely. Here's an even larger concern. As we watch what happens at the federal level, this concept of repeal and replace, I'm looking forward to see what the replacement is. And if there is a replacement, I will do my best to be a supporter of it. But remember that Idaho has a state-based healthcare exchange that over 100,000 people have benefited from, which means they have insurance. We have one of the most successful healthcare exchanges in the country in terms of helping get people insurance to allow them to, have that coverage. And these are working folks. The problem is we're running the risk of, if there is a repeal and no solid replacement to that, anybody who got insurance on the healthcare exchange, any benefits that they receive on the healthcare exchange goes away. And so there's 78,000 people who are currently in the gap, 10,000 of which are military veterans. But there's over 100,000 people that are currently getting insurance on the healthcare exchange that are also at risk. So, this is a big wait and see. We hope that the repeal and replace is something responsible. I think this is a real opportunity for the Republican Party to lead on the issue of health care. And so I'm just sitting back and hoping that they get it done.
Matt, I mentioned earlier, I said, if you had one wish, would that be it? I'll ask you about that. What would be the Democrats' realistic priority, something that you really can see happening this session, and what would be maybe your fantasy priority?
That's a great question. I think that we need to continue to invest in teachers in Idaho. Because whether you're a teacher in Montpelier or you're a teacher in Caldwell or you're a teacher in the Boise School District, this movement to the career ladder is the single most important change, and the legislature must follow through with its 5-year commitment. plan to it. So this year, the career ladder is going to be another discussion, and it is really important to the future of our kids, future of our education system, that we continue to move forward with it. I think the other piece is a secondary goal within Idaho is to ensure that third graders are at a place of efficiency with their reading indicator. And that reading indicator tells us if they're likely to graduate high school, it tells us if they're likely to go to college, and it even predicts if they're likely to enter the criminal justice system. That's how important the reading indicator is. And what we know right now is that 49% of kindergartners are not ready for kindergarten when they enter. And so we need to find an Idaho-based solution, an Idaho solution for how to introduce what some people call pre-K, what other people call early childhood education. What I think is it's really about a school readiness piece, because if they're not ready in kindergarten, they're not going to be ready in third grade. And that is a problem. So what we're hoping for is a solution that allows parents who want to have their children at home come up with some technology tools to get their kids ready for kindergarten, that lets families who want to live in a community and come together with a cooperative to develop a little bit of early childhood education. What a great opportunity for mothers in a place like Weiser to have a family cooperative where they're getting their kids together and developing early childhood education. And then, of course, continuing with site-based early childhood education programs like the one that's here in Boise. It wouldn't cost much state money. It would require the communities to pony up money. It's a series of partnerships. It's a series of collaboratives, and it will drive up that third grade reading indicator, and I think it'll make a real difference for the state of Idaho.
All right, Representative, thank you for calling this morning. We've been talking with Matt Erpelding, the minority leader from District 19 here in Boise. Matt, thanks for taking time out of your busy day to check in with us this morning.
Thank you. I look forward to it, and hopefully I'll talk to you again this session. Have a great day.
All right, sounds good. Matt Erpelding, KBOI News Time is 8:56. Idaho Talks.